What is up, my dudes? It's Pac-Man here, and today I'm bringing you guys the most common mistakes that I see nearly every day playing Siege. The points that I'll be bringing up throughout this video could easily be the reason as to why you're losing gunfights, dying, and overall just losing matches. And if you can avoid doing any of these things, you're going to be in a much better position to go forward and start winning more games. So without wasting any time, if you enjoy the video, please be sure to like and subscribe. I'll be posting tons more tutorials just like this, so if that's your thing, you're at the right place. Let's get straight into it. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to speak to you guys about was sprinting. So before even kind of going deeper into it, I just want to show you the difference in how long it takes you to start shooting when you are sprinting, when you're not sprinting. So first of all, let's just go with standing, walking, to ADS and shoot, yeah? Get an idea for that? Okay, and even better, if you're ADS'd, whenever you want. You just, as soon as you stop, as soon as you start firing, you basically fire. Now look at the difference when you're actually sprinting and you do that. So you go for a sprint and then, oh, he's right there. See that lag in comparison to that? So sprinting, ADS, there's no lag. So I know this is seems like a pretty basic one, but honestly, when you're in a gunfight and you take a few shots and you go to chase someone around a corner, or you think someone's around this corner and you sprint around like that to start shooting, if they're ADS'd at you, if they're looking at you ready to shoot, you're dead. There's no doubt about it, because that little split second is all it takes for someone to land a headshot. Whereas if you take the corner like that, it gives you much more of an advantage. Yeah, so just don't sprint when you're getting into gunfights. I'm not saying never sprint. There's always a time and a place to sprint. Especially start around if you know there's no one around you, but as soon as you know that there's an enemy close, definitely don't sprint like that, because you're just going to get domed. Okay, so for the second point, I'm not going to go into this one in any depth. It's very, very obvious, but I do still see it sometimes. You won't really see it in higher ranks, to be honest. It's very basic, but not all of you guys are in higher ranks, and I'm sure you guys see it as well. But I do still see it from time to time, and it's just ridiculous when it happens. Basically, long story short, when you're trying to enter into a room or enter into anything like this and it's a barricade in front of you, don't hit the barricade while standing directly in front of it. I'm not gonna go into this in any depth. Obviously, for obvious reasons, if you're standing in front of the barricade when someone's around there looking at it, it's a free kill, right? So what you want to do, if at all possible, is hit the barricade off to the side, right? Like, kind of like that. Like, you know what I mean? Just hit it and get away from it. You don't want to be fucking easy pickings, punching out the barricade and then just get smacked in the face. Because if I do this and I'm off to the side, even if they're, like, if someone's behind that bar, they're going to be ADS kind of around, like, either there or there at either side from where you are. But if you're just standing in the middle and you punch it, yeah. Don't need to explain how that one's going to go. So always hit the barricades off to the side, and on the third hit, you can also vault. You don't have to actually hit it, so just a little quick tip. I'm sure most of you know that anyway. Okay, guys, the next thing I wanted to speak to you about is basically reloading, and reloading just after a gunfight. A little bit more complex, but at the end of the day, it's still pretty standard. So I want to give you guys a little bit of a practical example as best I can anyway. Let's say you're in main lobby or front entrance, whatever you call it. You're having a fight with someone in electrical. Even if you win that gunfight, the last thing you want to do is basically win that gunfight, start reloading, and kind of, and then at that point start looking or whatever. You can be pretty confident that when you're having that gunfight, or when you're having any gunfight in general, especially when they're prolonged, it's not just something that you've just killed someone that wasn't expecting you. When it's a prolonged gunfight, you can be pretty confident that the enemy that you're fighting is communicating that with their team. Like, oh, there's an Asher main lobby, I'm pinned, I need help, or blah, 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 or whatever. And, relatively stronger teams, or just in general, doesn't even have to be a strong team, but you can be pretty confident that that's going to be communicated and that you're going to get re-peeked from someone else coming to help that player, right? So instead of taking that gunfight, reloading to kind of reassess at that point, or whatever, I wouldn't do that. What I would personally try and do is, take the gunfight and then just try and kind of reposition without just give yourself whatever chance you can, because if you get peeked, if you take a shot like this, and then you get peeked from there or there, like you're dead. There's no chance, right? Obviously, you know, sometimes you can't win it, but you're at least gonna not give the enemy an advantage, right? So if you take the fight and you start to expect it and just preemptively expect the fight to happen, you're gonna be in a better spot and give yourself more of a chance of a peek if there is one, okay? Okay guys, so the next point that I wanted to bring up really quick is basically holding angles as a defender, or as holding an angle just like this. If you're holding an angle, and some do's and don'ts. Basically, I won't go into too much depth because I have made a video on this in the past. If you want to see it, there'll be a link in the description. Before a brief overview, Siege, like many other first-person shooter games, has a thing called Peeker's Advantage. And basically what that means is due to netcode and latency, for whatever reason, when someone is aggressing a corner like that, they will see whoever is standing there at that door before they will see you, right? So for a more practical example, let's say if you're behind this bar right here, as you can see, this isn't the first time I've tried to record this, but as you're sitting behind this bar, and you're holding this angle, let's say you're just holding that one angle, if they wide peek that corner fast and spray down me behind this bar, they're gonna see me before I actually see them. And so if they're a relatively good shot, they're gonna smash me in the head and I'll be dead, you know, the very beginning of the round often. That's why spawn peekers usually lose. The only time that spawn peekers actually get the kill is when the enemy team isn't expecting it and they don't fire back. That's why, like, sometimes you're holding this crazy spawn peek off angle and you just get smashed in the face. It's because of peeker's advantage. So what you don't want to do is just stagnantly hold angles like this as much as possible. Sometimes it will still work, but especially as you grow into higher and higher ranks, it's just going to get punished more and more. So what you do want to try and do a little bit more is, you know, maybe try and peek in and out of an angle. It doesn't even have to be that fancy or anything like that, but you can just literally just boom, you know, like just pop in and out of an angle like that. And it's just gonna, like, let's say specifically for this, if you're just sat here like this, waiting for someone to push from blue bar, if they peek that corner and check you and check this hallway and see if someone's there, like I said, if they have a relatively good shot, you're gonna get smashed in the head and it's gonna be game over. But if you're just peeking in and out like this, you can get that information and give yourself the peeker's advantage back, you know? Give you the advantage back. So just a quick one there, but don't stagnantly hold angles like this because it is a fast way to get domed. Try peeking in and out of the angles. It doesn't have to be fancy, but just try and peek in and out, or literally even just like that, you know? Okay, and so the final point that I wanted to make ties in pretty nicely with the last point, and it's slow peeking corners. Okay, so just like I said there, as a defender, when you're stagnantly holding angles, you're going to give the advantage to the attacker, to the aggressor, the one that's coming around the corner because of peeker's advantage. But what would be one way to give that? Give the defender that's stagnantly holding this angle to give me, what could the attacker do to give me that advantage back? It's called a slow peek, okay? So what you don't want to do is, let's say someone's playing behind this bomb, or to be honest, like, let's just say you're attacking first floor kitchen. You'd be very surprised if someone wasn't watching, you know, the kitchen entrance. If they do, they've probably made, if they're not watching it, they've probably made some bad life choices, but you can be pretty confident that there's someone going to be holding it. So if you peek around the corner like that, you give yourself every advantage, and like I said, it puts the kind of cards in your hand as to whether or not you can hit that shot. But who do you think has the advantage when you do this? Like a lot of people do, really scared, just pushing across. The attacker does, because all you're doing is just like really slow peeking around the corner, or even sometimes people alt walk around the corner like that, even slower. Oh, it's just terrible. If they're holding that doorway, you're just gonna get smoked. No doubt about it. Like, cause think about it. If you're sitting here holding this angle, or holding any angle like this or whatever, you're sitting there holding it, and Ash peeks on the corner, boof. It's gonna be, you're gonna struggle to hit her because she has the advantage. If she hits you in the head, you're done. It's gonna be hard to land that shot. But if the Ash doesn't do that, and the Ash alt walks around the corner trying to be nice and sneaky, trying to just face check everything, you know, you're gonna smash her. So try your best not to peek around corners. You want to hit the corner fast, and it's just going to put the advantage back in your hand when you're taking corners, when you're taking angles, okay? So yeah, like how you actually take that corner is basically, it's called a quick peek. So you peek around it, don't slow peek, you quick peek. How to quick peek and everything like that is a completely different video. You know, there's plenty of different ways, but all you want to do is get into the habit. You don't even have to quick peek. You can just literally just go like stuff like that, right? It's probably not as fast as something like that, or not as quick in and out, but it's still better. It's still a whole lot better than that, right? Make yourself hard to kill. That's all I'm trying to say, okay? So don't slow peek corners. You know, don't really slowly. Oh, I think he's gonna be here. You know, don't like really slowly peek around the corner. Come around the corner with a bit of confidence, and you're gonna land more kills in general. Okay. So there you have it, guys. Those are some of the most common mistakes that I see throughout my days playing Siege. There is so many more mistakes that I see often, but you know, I do want to make this video pretty short and succinct because I know everyone's got a busy schedule. But if you want me to make a part 2, hit that like button, leave a comment down below, and I'll be sure to do so. Also, let me know what you think of the live format of that video where I was speaking to you kind of as I was playing in game. Maybe not as structured or as to the point, but yeah, let me know if you like it, if you found it helpful, or if you'd rather me go back to my old style. But for now, guys, like I said before, please like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps so much. Some of my videos have been doing super well recently, and it's all thanks to you guys. So yeah, keep up the love, guys, and I still hope you guys are all doing super well and looking out for one another. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you in the next one. Peace.